Thanks for staying with us. Let's now turn to another region of the country. The discovery of oil and gas in Nigeria led to exploration of crude oil for revenue basis. However, oil exploration and exploitation has caused environmental problems in the Niger Delta region, which has resulted to major conflicts in that region and also affected the way of life of the people. We understand that fishermen and farmers are having a really difficult time in that region because of oil spill, and which has led to environmental degradation. Let's talk about that. Let's bring in the president of Ijaw Youth Council, Theophilus Alaye. Good to have you join us. Mr. Alaye, I just want to be sure that we have you on. All right, so I want to ask you to paint a picture of how bad things are in the Niger Delta region in terms of the environmental degradation.
Thank you very much. You know, the Niger Delta happens to be the center of the oil and gas industry here in Nigeria. But over time, the Nigerian government and the IOCs operating in the region are more interested in making profits from the region than taking care of the environmental protections into serious consideration. You know, environmental resource management is one critical area that ought to be taken into serious consideration. But as we speak, the entire Niger Delta environment is in serious degradation position as we speak. You know, over time, before the IOCs came into operation here in the Niger Delta, comprehensive EIA exercise was not carried out. So the environmental standard and the environmental position was not really put into consideration. Today, pollution from gas flaring, pollution from pipeline vandalism, pollution through equipment failure is the order of the day. And as I speak to you, our mangroves, wetlands, our environment for agricultural activities are all completely polluted. And Nigeria government and the IOCs refuse to pay good attention in protecting the environment until the Obasanjo administration carried out a comprehensive EIA exercise in Ogoniland through the United Nations Environmental Protection Agency, UNEP. And the report that came through UNEP is an eye-opener that what is happening in the Niger Delta in terms of hydrocarbon pollution is not given full attention, because what United Nations, UNEP came up with shows that the Ogoni land that the IOCs claim that has been cleaned up was completely in disarray, that the entire environment, including the mangroves, were completely still polluted after 25 years of the incidents that happened in Ogoni land. And by going through that, if you replicate that, so what is happening in the Niger Delta, you will agree with me that the entire Niger Delta is in crude oil contaminated territory. Because
but Mr. Alaye, talk to us about the areas that are, you know, the worst affected, and then what the IOCs that are responsible and what they are doing to address it.
Yeah, like even recently we have pollution that took place, that is equipment failure in Nembe, here in Bayelsa State, where Ajip is the owner of the equipment. Till today, nothing has been done. Those communities are crying. The attention of Ajip has been drawn. Till date, nothing has been done. Even correspondence from your organizations, the media organizations, try to reach out to them to know the situation, how and what they are going about with what has happened in Nebe And what they said is that the people should not be communicating them. They shouldn't be reaching out to them. And that is just the situation. So, frankly speaking, Bayelsa State, the entire Niger Delta environment, is completely polluted. I cannot say that this area is between the Bayelsa and East and West axis, where Ijaw Shell is operating, is in complete disarray. I can tell you that if comprehensive remediation exercise is not carried out after the era of the oil and gas, believe you me, our people will not know what they will fall back to, because the entire environment is completely in disarray. And what we are asking for as host community is just that simple. It's not really too much. Put environmental protection into consideration, because it is the responsibilities of the owners of the equipment that are running around or that are operating in the environment that is shadowed with the responsibility to protect the equipment. So this issue of today, that is equipment failure, and IOCs will be sending a blame game that it was as a result of third party. That is something like third party.
But have the state government, I know, Mr. Lai, I know you have mentioned, the federal government, because again, the petroleum industry is directly under the federal government. But the state governments, these areas, the residents of these areas are directly under the state governments. Have they done anything to address this and also hold the IOCs accountable?
You know, the problem is, as you have said already, the oil and gas sector is completely under the control of the federal government. If the state government is coming in, their hands are tied. It's limited. The oil and gas sector is completely under the management of the federal government. So if state government are coming, they are also on the area of agitation that environmental protection should be given top priority. And I believe that is not really too much to ask. International best practice is what we are saying that should be applied in this sector, because the environment is the heritage of the people. After the oil and gas sector, because we know it's a non-sustainable source revenue or resources. Definitely these things are going to end. And what are the Niger Delta people, the producers of these things, the people that their environment is completely polluted? What are they going to fall back to? And that is why even before the PIA was passed, we were pushing that the host com fund should be 10%. But even the 10% will not be enough, because that is the only way the host coms will use those funds to diversify the economy of their environment, of their area, so that when the oil and gas sector has come and gone, they will know definitely what to fall back to. You must balance the economy. That is what the people of the Niger Delta are agitating and crying for. But you know, profit making, the economic benefits have been the priority and the concern and the interest of the federal government. And that is why you see that environmental protection, environmental resources management is not properly put into use. We are telling them, look, our environment are completely damaged. The ecosystem, as we are talking, as we speak, is going into modification, because native species are being affected. Invasive species are coming in as a result of this pollution that we are experiencing. So in no distance time, the entire Niger Delta environment is going to be modified, because we will be having more of invasive species than the native species. Then you understand? So there is no even checkmate of enemy pests in the environment. The Niger Delta people in no distance time will be open to epidemic diseases, because that is just the ecological reality. That is in
and what do you expect? What do you expect going forward? Because you have talked about the dangers that this have on the livelihood of people and the health of people. Like I can't imagine anyone who lives around that environment living a healthy life. It will have a long-term impact. So what do you expect going forward?
Exactly. That is what we are saying. Our appeal is that let the people that owns these resources sense of belonging. Increase their stake. Increase their stake. Let them be stakeholders in the oil and gas sector. Let them be key players. Increase the host community fund that they have between 3%, so at least a minimum of 20%, so that the host these communities will use that fund to diversify the economy of their region. By so doing, I believe that there will be economic stability, there will be security, and there will be standard of life will increase, and life expectancy in the area will definitely also increase. You know, poverty is what we call the short way to short lifespan. So if the people of the Niger Delta have sense of belonging, take ownership and stakeship in the oil and gas sector increases, definitely the economy of the area will definitely be buoyant. We want the stake of the host communities to be increased through the PIA. Let them increase the 3% host com to 20%, so that those funds that will be coming will be used to diversify the economy of the area, so that at the time when there is no oil and gas, the people will fall back to. And when those environmental challenges will be coming, the profit that will be coming from this diversified economy will be used to take care of the environment, since the federal government and the IOCs that are...
But Mr. Alaye, what are the guarantees that would happen? Because even some leaders of the Niger Delta have been accused of being complicit in some of these issues, that sometimes monies are given and they're not used for the purpose that, they should be used for. So whether or not, it is increased from 3% to 20%, what are the guarantees that it will trickle down to those who actually need help?
Definitely not that there are people that need help. What we need is sufficient funds coming out from this oil and gas sector that will be going directly to the host communities. Let me, for example, in Dorima in River State, that is being operated, the host community have a share in the proceed that is coming out. And that is what they are using for other businesses. And the proceed that is coming from those businesses are what they are using for capital projects. That is what we want the IOCs and the federal government to imbibe and implement in the sector.
There seems to be a network challenge there, but he made his point in terms of, all right, I wanted him to complete it. So, Mr. Alaye, I understand you are back. Complete your thought.
Okay. So what we are saying is, let the fund, the stake ownership of the host community be increased. Let the IOCs and the federal government put heads together and increase the PIA host community fund that is 3% to 20%. By so doing, host coms will use the fund, because that fund is coming directly to the host communities. They can use it to diversify the economy of their area. And that will definitely up the game for them. Life expectancy will increase. Proceeds that are coming from those places can be even used directly for the remediation of their own environment. Because proper remediation exercises are not being carried out. And the environment, as we speak, is going into modification. And that is very, very detrimental to the people of the Niger Delta. So what we are saying is, let the stakeholders of the Niger Delta people, the host communities, be looked into, and let the environmental protection be put into consideration. You see, that those are areas that is only going to be implemented by the federal government. Let me also come back quickly, a quick one. The agencies that are responsible, the agencies that are responsible.
I'm afraid I do have to leave it there. I wish I had more time to, so you can, expatiate on what you wanted to, but I have to leave it there because we have another issue that we also want to focus on. Thank you so much for your time, and we're wishing you all the best.
All right.
We hope that government responds to your request, as soon as possible. President, Ijaw Youth Council, Theophilus Alaye, thank you for talking to us.
Thank you very much. And we are also still calling that at least the Ijaw Youth Council is also saying that the IOCs and the federal government should look into and stop gas flaring as a matter of fact, matter of urgency, because the environment